are the fungiform. Alright? Underlying, also in the lamina propria, and underlying this will be some glands. There are glands in the anterior 2/3 of the tongue and glands in the posterior third. There we're seeing like some branches of the lingual artery. And we're going to see a lot of nerves in cross-section. But what's really going to identify the tongue, especially in the anterior 2/3, are the presence of the papillae. Now, it will take us a little time. Let's try and see if we can find, looking a couple of different tongues here. Okay, so that's on the surface of the tongue, because we don't see any papillae there. Alright. Okay. Now, the problem is here we're looking at the animal tongue. This is an animal tongue. Alright? And there are one or two types of examples of fungiform papillae, but not very good at all. Okay? Not very good at all. Okay, I need a couple more slides of the anterior 2/3. Can you please pass me about, say, 5 more? We need about 5 more to try to find this. Yeah, just a couple more. Yeah, that's anterior 2/3. Okay. Alright. Okay, this is the closest example I can find to a filiform papillae. Okay? So we have filiform, fungiform, circumvallate. And the filiform papillae would look like this. They're sort of just coming over with a bit of a sharp tip, okay? And there are no taste buds in them. These are towards the tip of the tongue, and they have a more mechanical function, a rasping action. Alright? You see some glands here. So in the underlying connective tissue, and between the muscle fibers there, you will see some glandula. So what we're seeing on this slide, the best so far, are some fungiform papillae. Alright, not really seeing any taste buds in these, matter what section we're looking at. This is very close to the tip of the tongue, and this is a good example of a filiform papillae. So the best we have seen so far, that's the filiform. Notice that there's a lot of fat in the tongue. So there's a lot of adipose tissue. So intermingled between all these muscle bundles here is a lot of adipose tissue. Okay, lots of nerves in cross section. So what we're looking at here is a nerve. So the tongue is highly innervated, the muscles of the tongue by the hypoglossal nerve, and there are lots of nerve fibers that we're seeing. And what you see is that the muscle is moving in all different directions, transversely, obliquely, along all different directions, so that we can get various movements of the tongue, both in shape, so we can alter the shape of the tongue, and we can also alter the position. So highly vascularized, highly innervated. One of the diagnostic features we see is a lot of fat, and the skeletal muscle, the undersurface, lacks the papillae, and on the top of the tongue here, we see a lot of various types of papillae. And in this slide particularly, what we're seeing are the filiform and the fungiform. That's a good example of a fungiform papillae right here, but sadly, there are no taste buds on this particular one. Alright? But that's a good example of a fungiform papillae. Were there to be taste buds, hopefully we're going to buck up some soon, taste buds, you see them like flask-like structures contained roughly where the pointer is at now. Okay? So there is a massive block of skeletal muscle. Alright, let's go on to another slide here. Still, I need a couple more slides. I need about 5 more slides, please, of the tongue, so that we can try to find some of these papillae. So for the front, Rihanna, where is your slide box? Yes, so the guys at the top. Can you lend me a slide, a couple slides there? Alright, so what we're seeing in this one now are primarily just fungiform papillae. Going along here, these sort of mushroom-shaped papillae, these are mainly the fungiform. Thanks a lot. These are mainly, very good. Alright, so these are all fungiform papillae right here because of the shape. Now let's go. I think I might have seen a couple of taste buds right here. So let's look right here. Okay, no, not. This may be an example of a taste bud, but not very convincing. Right about at this point here, but not hot at all. So there's the underlying lamina propria, and right about here, what looks like that elliptical flask-like looking structure may be a taste bud, but not convincing, not a good sign. And what's happened is that this morning, unfortunately, I have to do some major sorting out of the juniors. Because as you know, we've been inundated with a massive influx of students. So I've been very tied down trying to make tutorial lists for them and all sorts of crazy things. So this is the undersurface of the tongue once again. Notice the absence of papillae, massive core of skeletal muscle. Let's go to a loop over here with this. Alright. All the various muscles here. And then you notice with the tongue, the muscles going in all different directions. Alright, all different directions here. These are branches of the lingual artery. So this is definitely the undersurface of the tongue. We're going on to here. Alright, and maybe coming towards the tip. And some odd looking filiform papillae. Alright. Mainly this is very close to the tip of the tongue. Right. See all these sharp looking sort of conical, they look like fir trees. These are the filiform papillae. So sadly so far no good ones. Alright. Now this is marked anterior 2/3 of the tongue. Now in the anterior 2/3 of the tongue we're also going to encounter the circum. Well, these are the glands. So this slide is very, very good in that we're seeing a lot of the lingual glands. Okay? So this is a good slide in terms of the glandular tissue. So there we see a lot of the glands. Okay? Have you been lectured yet on the tongue, the histology of the tongue? Alright. So we can see that this is a massive core of skeletal muscle here. Notice a lot of fat. Lots of glandular tissue there. So they talk about the glands of Von Ebner, etc. I don't think we really need to know a lot of these, just to know primarily that these are the glands, the lingual glands. Alright? So this is maybe just coming around here, but no. Okay, let's see if we can pick up any. Okay. Now this is just at the verge of going from the anterior. Students, I'm asking you, I need a couple more slides of the tongue, please. Some of you must have brought the slide boxes. Sean, help me out. Alright, just put your initials, please. I need a couple more slides of the tongue. Alright? So, what we're looking at here is, this is just going to the junction with the posterior third of the tongue. Because what I'm picking up here is some lymphatic tissue, but a lot of glands here, highly glandular. And we were looking a while ago at some purely mucous glands, but these are seromucous glands. So this is quite nice here, showing the seromucous glands. Okay. So these are the mucous components of the gland here. Yeah, that's very good, very good, very good. Still, more anterior 2/3 of the tongue. Alright, I'm not seeing those slides are more, you can pass them over. So these are the serous, notice they're very acidophilic. Alright, so they're staining bright with eosin. Thanks there. Yeah, these are staining bright with eosin here.